Hello, hello. Tonight we are talking about Egypt Air 990. Have you ever heard of this crash? It killed every person on board and led to a controversy and lots of conspiracies and lots of questions. And it all happened on Halloween night. So are you ready to dig into this with me? Well, if you are, here we go. This is Screams for You, and I'm V. So, turn down those lights and lock those doors. Here's a scream you can't ignore. So, Egypt Air 990 went down on October 31st, 1999. It was flying from Los Angeles to Cairo. It crashed without a lot of warning, and it crashed into the Atlantic, and it killed all 217 passengers. So, as soon as it went down, the search and rescue was there. They were on their way as soon as they knew that it was going to crash. But searching all night and throughout the next morning, they found no one alive. Since it was like an international thing, there was a little dispute over who should take over the investigation. So the NSTB is like kind of in charge of investigating crashes, and they thought that maybe they had a little more than an accident or some kind of simple malfunction or, error. They thought it was more on the on purpose side, like somebody made this plane crash on purpose. And Egypt was in charge of the say-so about this investigation and where it goes and kind of how it goes, because it's international air. But the NTSB wanted the FBI to check it out because of their uncertainties about what had happened. Well, the Egyptians refused, and America kind of went along with this to keep the peace, even though there was a lot of speculation about that's not what happened, that somebody was responsible for the deaths of all these 217 people that were on board. So what they can gather from the black box is that right before the plane went down, the actual pilot got up and went to the bathroom. They were flying steady. It was on autopilot, and everything was going fine. So that's what he did. He had to go relieve himself. And while he was gone, the plane just started going down. And this man fought the gravity and pushed his way back up into the cockpit to try to fix what's the matter with this plane and save everybody's lives. Now, the first officer, his name was Ali Batotui, I believe. I don't know if I said that right at all. But anyways, he was heard on the black box exclaiming, "I rely on God," just minutes before the plane crashed into the ground. Okay, so that is one reason why they're suspecting that this is foul play, right? The other is the timing. Everything seemed to be just perfectly fine. And another thing was they're stating that how the plane went down, how the autopilot was turned off, and all of this could not have been done by accident. Only a person could trigger these effects. But Egypt Air wanted no part of it. And they said that some elevator, what is it called? So the report that the ECAA, which is like the Egypt Air, said was that the elevator power control unit failure, and that's what caused all of this. And like I said, America just kind of kept their mouth shut to keep the peace. And then it was kind of like a back and forth in the media, pretty big, about Egypt claiming that America doesn't want to listen to the truth. And, they're trying to make a bomb out of a piece of grass that, it was all just making stuff up just to cause trouble. And this came after a man came forward claiming that he had first-hand knowledge, and that Ali Batu, I'm just going to call him out, Ali, that Ali was very upset because he had just been recently demoted from pilot back down to the first officer. And he was very upset about this, and he really talked about for a while about making people pay for demoting him. Okay, it happened just like a couple of days before. And when he got on that plane, there was a man on there that was the airline executive, and he just happened to be the man that demoted Ali. So he said this is the reason why he took down this plane, because he just couldn't handle it and he wanted payback for being demoted. Now, what do I believe? This is a hard one to say because I'm not an airline pilot. I don't know. But it does seem like a pretty big coincidence in my book that you are going to say, about relying on God and the plane's going down right when the pilot goes to the bathroom and the executive that demoted you is on the plane, and everyone that's around you kind of knows that you have this animosity and anger towards the airline and this man because of your demotion. But at the same time, doesn't it seem so extreme? So extreme that you are going to kill 200. You're going to kill 217 people because you got demoted from a job. I don't know. I guess that's why I like to cover these stories, because I always have questions like, what are you thinking? What made you think that killing 217 people was worth it because you lost a job? But like I said, according to the ECAA, it's just a technical difficulty with the power unit to the elevators. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that it's crazy. And I honestly, you just heard my opinion. You kind of know which way I'm leaning. That doesn't always mean that I'm right. It all could have been just some crazy coincidence, right? You would like to think that the ECAA is right, because like I said, who wants to think that somebody killed 217 people over a demotion. Okay? So we have lots and lots more to come, right? Oh, but we are getting closer to the end of these 31 days. So, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of them. And don't forget to have a creepy night.